rise from the void. Builders of the vault, make some noise. This is power, this is truth, this is fire. We're the spark that'll light your empire. We're the grinders, the makers, the dream machine. Chasing visions through the Web3 stream. Break the mold, let the fire ignite. We're building in public, no fear, no fright. Amid the rugs and the fakes we shine. Grinding through space, coding in time. The fold is ours, yeah, we're claiming the game. Astrocast is rising, remember the name. It's the future we write, it's a world we design. The fold is calling and the stars will align. The fold is ours, we're breaking the chains. Riding the storms, we're embracing the game. From the depths of Aquatica to galaxies wide, the Astro Kids conquer, the fold's on the rise. Yo, solo explorers building the base. From an island of dreams to the vastest space. Transforming the grind into indie gold. Bear the torch, we're breaking the old. This ain't just a game, it's a movement away. From the sea to the stars, it's the future we pave. A limited run, but the fire's alive. Exclusive mid-watch, the legends arrive. Builders of the bear, we're taking it there. From nothing to something, to the cosmos we tear. Through the void, through the dark, we declare. Yo, step up, step in, feel the beat drop. Indie revolution, and we won't stop. From collectors to coders, we're setting the bar. Rising like rockets, we're aiming for stars. The fold is ours. We're breaking the chains. Riding the storms, we're embracing the game. From the depths of Aquatica to galaxies wide, the Astrocast conquer, the fold's on the rise. Yeah, we're carving the path, and it's burning bright. Indies, take note, this is your fight. The fold is calling, and we're answering loud. Heads high, fists raised, we're making you proud. Yeah, we're carving the path, and it's burning bright. Indies, take note, this is your fight. The fold is calling, and we're answering loud. Heads high, fist raised, we're making you proud.
Hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. I am DK. I'm founder of World. So, for everyone who is new here, World is an indie game studio. We make comics and games on top of our original IP. The first IP we are working on is called Astrokids. It's about uh, like millions of kids traveling in space for 14 years, landing on a new universe called Aquatica, and begin their journey from there and explore the universe and start building their base. So yeah, more about world and more details about recent things that we have executed. But before that, very excited to see gaming things are evolving on Solana. Recently, Solana Gaming has officially been launched by Solana Foundation to support the game development companies on the space. So on that note, I would like to discuss more with a fellow game developer who has been in the space all throughout the bear and also in this markets, and he is a very adaptive guy, and is a very good dev. We also had a chance to work together earlier in the past. So I would love to welcome Tomukas from Rubians. Hi, Tomukas. How are you?
Hello, BK. Thanks for having me. This is a very cool and Web3 Astrocast. Nice being here.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So, for the people who are watching this and who don't know what you just can you give a quick introduction about what Rubians is about, what Tamukas is all about? What's your vision and dream of your project? Yeah.
Well, Rubians is an ever-changing project. It's just like it's changing with the times, you know. I think this is the most important part of my vision, and the vision
Uh,
is, I would say, to not have a vision. The vision is to just go along with the culture, you know. See what's new, see what's out there, and adapt and change and learn new things. Since I'm kind of like taking this road of an indie, there's basically no other way to survive. I think it's
right.
very important to I think it's very important to continuously like look into what new things there are, because that's kind of the way to get grants, you know, to get support from the blockchain, to be on this kind of researcher journey. So that's kind of what I'm
Right.
seeing myself as, like kind of Web3 game developer slash researcher. Because if I'm on that grind, if I keep on learning new things, I'm able to survive without having any hit games, without needing to do much marketing, much things, you know. So I can just be like some crazy scientist experimenting with stuff. So this is kind of the approach I'm taking right now to be able to sustain myself and try to create something new and beautiful.
Right, right. Exactly. That's what I love about you. Like, you have taken so many pivots. You have been building a lot of games, and even go to SDK. So I would like to dive in on that a bit more later. Just that's an interesting take. Like, I'm a person who actually builds this with a long-term vision, and you are quite exactly opposite of that, and that is why I thought, like, so we can share as indies, like, what are the perspectives we have in navigating the Web3 space. Like, what got you started in this space, and what keeps you moving, and where do you think the destination is going to take? Like, you're telling that it's continuous reiterations of that, but overall, like, for indies to survive in this industry, to explore Web3 gaming as is, what are your like, thoughts around that? That's what I want to pick on this one.
Um, yeah, well, I mean, like, I kind of just said about it. But before I answer, Devansh, and Kaiser, welcome to the chat. They're saying GM, who say what's up. So
GM,
nice to have you. Nice to have you in the chat. So yeah, so I mean, for the newcomers, for those who want to take on this challenge of being in Web3 indie gaming, um,
Mhm.
the I think it's all about taking the right battles, taking on the challenges which are estimated well. What I mean by that is, for example, when I first started, when I just was, in like in VR, I was making VR games. I was just like studying, learning games in general. Um, the outlook more in those zones is about like sitting down, keep your head down, and create something like fascinating, right? Create something, risk a lot of your time, risk a lot of your budget or whatever, and then try to shoot and make it, right? And if you don't, you have a couple of chances, and if you blow all of them up, then you just need to get a job and kind of drop your passion. So
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My grandma is calling me, but I think I'm gonna go after the call. Yeah. So yeah. So this is I would say this is the unique thing that Web3 can offer is that you, instead of going through this route of like head down, build, try, achieve great success. Web3,
Mhm.
because it's a new technology, right? It's all about the
Mhm.
adoption. It's all about growing. It allows you to kind of take a different approach of um, learn and create at the same time, and
Mhm.
and when creating, focus more on like very small scale projects. That's because what I meant, everything is moving so fast.
Mhm.
Everything is moving so fast. So what I'm trying to do is like whenever I think of some idea, the main thing I'm trying to do is reduce. Like, how can I make this less complex? How can I make it done quicker? Because what I'm going for is not going for a game. I'm going for some gimmick with a new technology, right? So let's say core NFTs come up. So I need to create something, some small little thing using the core NFTs. Maybe in the process, I'm going to get a grant. Maybe in the process, I'm going to like participate in some hackathon, maybe win a prize. And with this approach, it's kind of like, in some terms, it's more of a stable type of position. I mean, like my income fluctuates very much. So whenever I have money, I kind of like
Uh,
I started like dealing with my financials. Like if I have money, I'm treating like I'm living at the same standard as I'm used to, as like a poor mode, because I never know when my next money is gonna come. So
yes,
like it's good like to keep on going. Try to get a little bit of a grant, even though if you're feeling financially secure for like a couple months, it's still good to like to get something so that you can last longer. So this is kind
yes.
of I think the approach. So I think this is the kind of approach to take for an indie, and this approach, even though it's not going to make you like a legend, it's not going to make you successful and rich. What it's going to do is going to allow you to stay in the business for a long time, and everybody knows that network is net worth. So with
Yeah.
time, if you stay on this surviving, learning and building, with time I believe everything is going to work out. And I'm also thinking that I don't even believe I'm going to be making games for a long time. I'm thinking that in, let's say, 5 years or something, I'm thinking that my approach is like to create a network, to get to know like meme coins, to get to know people, to get to know devs, so that later on I could be like like an advisor, a mentor. Maybe I'm like in the background helping other people out get into the business, because my career would then turn into like having network. And this is kind of how I think survival for indies is like, I think, at least my approach. And hello Grip, he says, yo, what's up, Tomukas? I hope I answered your
Yeah.
question. I went on a tangent, but I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, it makes sense, but it's quite strange, right? Like, this is what happens even in Web 2. Like, people start with building games and they work for like 1 or 2 years, and after that they don't get the resources, or they just use that 1 or 2 shots, and they shut down. So basically, what I'm seeing in this particular perspective is like, here, it is the same thing, but it just helps you survive for a longer run, so that like you can establish a base. So am I getting that right? That's what
Yes, I would say to kind of to put it in a couple of words, I'm
Mhm.
preferring destination over the result. So like I'm
Yeah.
not sure what my result is. I don't
Mhm.
know like what is like the big thing I want to build. And I'm
Yeah.
also like I would be even scared of having this thought, because like if I know that I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna be like finished, that scares me. It feels like what
Yeah.
am I going to do then? So
Yeah.
so this is what I did with my kind of mentality, with my kind of workflow. Is that
Uh,
I prefer the journey over the destination. I prefer of
mhm.
like waking up every day and like thinking, okay, what I'm gonna do today. What am I gonna do
Mhm.
next week, and that kind of keeps me alive. It keeps me like nimble, and
Mhm.
it doesn't allow me like to rust, that's no pun intended, but like to get rusty, because I
Right, right,
always
right.
need to be looking for opportunities, looking for things. And I think that's a
Mhm.
blessing, not knowing where exactly I'm going. I do have like some outline. For example, I know with Rubians what are the next steps, but those next steps, for example, I have like 3-4 steps in advance of what I want to do. But like, let's say I'm
Mhm.
gonna do one step, and then everything is gonna change. People are gonna say, "Foo, boo, NFTs are bad, tokens are bad," and I'm gonna change it up. Yeah. So,
Right,
so
right, right.
yeah. So I never have like some ultimate goal, because I think having an ultimate goal, what if it's reached, then it can lead to a crisis, like some crisis of identity, of like, who am I now, what I'm doing next, and that can be difficult to deal with. So yeah, this is kind of my philosophy.
Yeah, that's an interesting take. Like, that's what makes indies very unique. Like, I had this conversation with so many game development studios, and like, two other people who are making games on a longer run. So they tell about different perspectives, but indies go through a lot, right? It's like, you start with something thinking of building a big vision, and it goes on for years, and eventually what happens is, like, you won't get that attention, or the support you needed, and it's a very hard grind to definitely. I completely agree with that. Like, I agree with your points, but there are also like people like me who are actually like very passionate about bringing their story to life, no matter what. Like so that is the perspective we started World with, and that's been the same journey. And as you said, like network is net worth. Unfortunately, we have been through the bear, and we built through all these phases. We were there in all the hacker houses, so we were able to make those connections and even get support from the biggest companies on Solana, and also great support from the founders because they see like people like us grinding. And but yeah, uh, uh, so that type of support is different. But as an indie studio or an indie game to survive, we also need users, and we also need the community to test out your things, test out your products, give you feedback, or even like scale it to bigger user base. So that has been a very big challenge. And fortunately, we haven't launched our game yet, but we are also like trying to cut down the modules and ship one like base version very soon, most likely next month, so that people can get hands on it and get started with the gameplay. But you have did multiple launches, you have faced ups and downs during this whole process. So would like to know your thoughts on how you find getting users, or getting players to try out your products. How's the response
Mm-hmm.
like, and where do you think the direction is going?
I think like this is the most difficult question. I think this is the question for everybody in Web3 gaming right now. This is
Yeah.
the biggest problem, the biggest issue. And I think why it is so difficult is because the audience is very, I would say, unique, and Web3 games require an audience that hasn't been seen before. What I mean by that is that when you're making a game, you need to think of one audience, but make the game for a different audience. So
Yeah.
what this means is that when you're making a Web3 game, the Web3 gamers, the Web3 people who you would like to reach, they're not going to be the players. They are
Right.
going to be investors. They are going to be the ones who open up the game. They test it for like 5-10 minutes. They see like, do they get it? Is it understandable? Is it clear? Is it worth my money? And then they decide whether to invest or not, and that's it. They're probably never going to open up a game unless maybe
Yeah.
they see some big update and they're like, oh, maybe I'm going to go and play, take a picture, and make a tweet so that I can get some retweets, right? Get some eyes, right? So they
Yeah.
are not the gamers. The gamers are Web two people. The
Yeah.
gamers are Web two people. And this is what makes creating a game difficult, because you need to appeal to both of these audiences. Web2 gamers are those who are playing, and Web3 are people who are investing, but will be much more likely to invest. What's happening, BK? BK, are you still here, bro? I don't know what's happening. I'm scared. This this stopped on a very scary frame. Laser eyes, BK.
I think there is some technical issue maybe. Till then, I will
Okay,
take
I see.
over. Please continue.
I even forgot what I was saying. I was so scared of the BK's face. I wasn't sure what to expect. Yeah,
You're
so
talking about
yes,
web. Oh, BK is back.
BK is back. Good. So this is Vivek Campbell. I think his internet is down, but it seems like he's back up.
Yep.
So what I mean basically is you. For the game, I feel like I still don't know. I still haven't got any major success. But what I feel like is when making a game, you need to think of the people who will be investing. You need to make a game for those who invest. But when developing it, you still need to kind of feel it out. You need to not make it like some sort of like the game doesn't need to be about tokenomics. The game doesn't need to be about finance. The game doesn't need to be about anything. So that when the Web3 person goes into play, they don't see it as like a financial thing, but they see it as a game that Web2 person would like to play. And I think this is what leads to them investing, because they see a game and they see it as like an actual game which can be successful among Web2 people. So I think this is kind of the way to go about right now, is to pretty much not think about
I think we lost Tomukas now. Is it?
I think we did.
Uh, yeah, I don't know. Suddenly it was a blackout here. The lights were off and the internet is gone. Sorry for this.
Oh,
Yeah, I think the generator will be on.
too much technical issues right now.
Yeah, what a timing.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, he's back again.
Are we
Yeah,
back? Are we back?
Yes, sir.
Is everything
yeah,
okay
yes,
now?
that. Yes,
All
yes,
good,
yes.
all
All
good.
good, all good. My
Okay,
camera
so
will turn
so
on shortly. Yeah, I'm waiting for the lights. Yeah.
okay, so it just so you just lost electricity in general, so everything
Ye-
went dark for you.
Yeah, everything went black suddenly. I don't know why. It went black.
I see.
Yeah,
Yes, but just to finish up this very long answer to the question, I
yeah,
think
please, please.
now the games need to be made for Web3 audience who will be investing without thinking much, like without even trying to get Web2 people, because trying to get both investors and players, it's like a big task for big studios. So I think the goal right now is to make a game for Web3 investors while thinking about who are going to play the game later on, so that in Web3 you get your investment, you get some budget to continue, and then you say, thank you very much, Web3. We're gonna make sure that your investment
I'm
uh,
rewarded.
gets better. And now we are switching focus to try and get players to actually play the game, so you can maybe earn some fees and earn something. So I think this is the most important thing, is to create a game for investors, knowing that they're not going to play. They're only going to check the game. They're only going to check, and this is the time where you get your money up, so that you can then create a game for Web2 audience. I think this is kind of why there's such a big issue, and I don't think it's even like a big problem if you see a Web3 game and they don't have any players. I think that's not an issue. The game is like a pitch deck. The game is like the game itself is like marketing for like a meme coin, right? Instead of
Yeah,
creating like videos and creating some memes, you're creating a game as like a marketing material to raise some money.
Yeah.
So I don't think I don't think it even matters for a game to just not really have much players, or basically anyone playing. It's all about like just kind of getting the hype, getting people talking about it and trusting the project, wanting to watch how it unfolds and investing in it.
yeah, exactly. That's a two double-edged sword, right? So it's like it's easy for people to we have seen so many projects. They just show and throw those white papers, share some ideas, raise huge amounts of money, like even millions of dollars, and then they suddenly disappear out of the blue. And people like us who keep building products, and we are stuck in this, we have our own gaming chats, we participate in hackathons, we test out our own games, and then we just understand, okay, this is cool, this is not cool, and then we don't have any users, by the way, on Web3. We have seen that in all the hackathons. We create that, and people just try during the judgment, and after the judgment is done, they just disappear. And there are
And that's
no
the
there is
point.
no
That's how it's supposed to be. That I think that's how it's supposed to be. So
yeah.
because like in general, like this is the Web3 is like the investment zone, right? So there's just a bunch of little investors with small shrimp money, right? So instead of going to a publisher, like even if you're like going Web2, right? First, what you do first is you develop a game for like 6 months or something, right? You get something beautiful, you get something nice, you get something presentable, and then you start going to publishers, begging for money, begging for deals, so that they can give you some money for you to continue developing the game for one more year, and then releasing it, and then hopefully splitting profits. So
Right.
this is exactly the same. You develop a game for a couple of months or something, then you go, instead of publishers, you go on a marketing stunt saying, hey, everybody, not publishers, but yo, Web3 people, it's time for your money to speak, invest. Do you like this project, right? And then after getting the money, then they can go on a development streak with some community following them, because now they're financially motivated for your success. So they're going to retweet, they're going to like, and they're going to keep you going. So
Yeah.
yeah, so basically, I just see Web3 as like this kind of like startup investment zone, investment by crowdfunding. In a way, you don't really need players. It's good to have players. It's nice, like a good boon. For example, you can say, invest in our project because we already have like 500 people playing in Web2. That's a good bonus. That's
Oh,
nice
yeah, that's
for
a
like
good one.
That's just a nice bonus, right? It's not gonna make people turn their heads and like go play the game, but they hear a number, they're like, okay, they already have some players, so maybe this game is gonna be successful. So it's like a nice plus having players.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense. Even recently, we also launched our collection, right? We launched our LST-backed NFT collection called Astrocast, and it did not go the way it is supposed to go. But then it was very clear for us. We 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 are very clear. Like the gaming scenario in this whole ecosystem is like kind of faded away, but the serious builders and even the developers and the founders community, they are still betting on the projects to basically go forward and build these amazing projects irrespective of the market conditions. So that's a very strange experience, but of course we'll give more updates on that during the end of the stream. But Coming back to the community part. So yeah, even I agree that community and the users are two separate things. So not just because of the financial things as well, but we also need people to be a part of us. There are so many gamers. Even in our team, we have Alex. He's a Web2 gamer. He's been testing games for the past 15 years, and he's a Web3 enthusiast. He feels personally that Web3 gaming is an advancement of Web2 gaming, where in real life economies can come into the game economy. So it's like basically not the tokens part, because tokens is a bit messy. Markets plays a major role in the game design and the game economy. So it just doesn't make sense to integrate tokens into the game, except using it to buy some items inside the game, or giving them rewards, but not for running the whole economy of the game. So, but when it comes to assets, people who play these things, they can craft some unique components, unique assets, and that could be tradable with other players who want to get that strategic benefit and who cannot do that grind, right? So, in this perspective, I completely agree. But yeah, when we take the whole responsibility of making Web3 games available for Web2 audience, then it adds up all the transaction costs and everything to the company to operate. It just makes it tough for indies to basically survive. So even what we decided is, okay, let's push out that Web2 mode. Let the users get in, and we can have an optional switch inside the game where if they want to port all their assets to Web3, they just click that button and then everything ports into the Metaplex standards, the core assets, and we just mint everything out instantly if they want it, by paying the fees that is required for making everything on chain. So that's the approach we are taking. Maybe I would like to hear your thoughts on that. Any contradicting opinions or even supporting anything. Let's just go with the flow. I think this is going in a good direction. People are getting a new perspective of things, which is very rare to find. Yeah.
Uh, I guess going with Web two gamers and just abstracting everything, it's a good approach if you're like if you really if you care more about engineering. I think this is kind of this is what I would like maybe to kind of to say in a way that you're either taking the route of like marketing and hype, and then you don't really work on a game much, but you kind of like promoted that this is going to be something and make money this way, or you instead of think my game itself needs to make money. So that's when you kind of like try to get Web2 people in, try to get some money flowing, but that's just more of an engineering issue. So like it depends on the team, I think. Is you like if your team is strong technically, if you have a lot of people who know about like databases and servers, because I'm sure when you're doing this, you're doing Web2, a lot of centralization, right? Because you need to own the wallets, you need to own information. There's like a lot more engineerically, a lot more stuff to take care of. But I mean, like that depends. I mean, I think that depends on the team. If your team is mostly about like marketing and communication and stuff like that, then I think it's better to just go with Web3 audience and try to get big money from small amount of people. Or if you're going with engineering mode, then you need to find a lot of Web2 players who are going to spend $1, right? So it's kind of like two, I think, sides of the coin. And
Right,
trying to
right,
tackle both is like you need a big
right.
operation for that. You need a lot of people for that. So I think it makes sense to like take one and then try to grow and then maybe add that additional layer later on.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So that's what we are aiming at as well, because that's been the whole pipeline for us. Like what we are building, we are trying to build the whole storyline and also integrate Web3 elements into it, and then go for the big launch. But instead, I we just now cut down a lot of things and ensure that there is a game mechanic, the core game mechanic, what we are focusing on. Let that be there. Push it out into the public, let the people test it, and and then we get the community feedback on that and start improvising on that. And every 15 days, we launch an update with the new feature that we want to add and keep
But
shipping
that's the
that.
thing. So that's
Yeah.
the thing. For seeing your project, I'm not like too familiar with it. I'm just like seeing it from the Twitter and stuff. But from what
Mm.
I'm seeing is that you're spreading yourself thin a lot. Like you're going both for the world creation, for the characters, for everything, and at the same
Right.
time you're doing a lot of work on the game. Like to so
Yeah.
it's kind of like you're trying to get both. You're trying to get big money from Web3 people to buy mint NFTs, and also money from gamers who will be spending $1 to play. And
Mm.
I think you should like choose one and go full 100% into one. Like, do
Right.
you
Right.
want to work on the world building, and that's
Mm.
gonna like bring the Web3 money in, right? People who see the
Mm.
vision, they want to invest bigger amounts, and they don't really care
True.
about the game. They just like the vision, and the game is gonna be a game. It doesn't matter if the game flops.
Yeah.
If you have the whole world, you have the brand, you can create a new game, right?
Right.
Or you then say fuck those trailers, fuck those characters, fuck everything with the world building. Let's just make a good game with good mechanics, solid tokenization, right? So solid tokenomics, so that people could pay, they could play, and we can just kind of gradually earn money. So like I think you
Right.
should select which should tackle more, because if you're trying to go with both, then
Mm.
going with the product, it you know that things are changing every month. Like new thing comes
Yeah.
out, you need to
Exactly.
change core
Right.
NFTs.
Right.
Then it's going to be compressed core NFTs, and you need to throw everything out of the window, and you need to make new servers, new databases, new everything. So if
Right.
you're
Right.
just kind of like if you try to tackle both, then whatever
Uh,
thing comes up
mm.
is gonna make you develop much slower, right? Much slower
Right.
to
Right.
adapt if
Right.
you're trying to do both things. So I think this is kind of what you would probably need to think of what you want. Would you want like world building and Web3 audience with big money, or the game and their mechanics and engineering, and then try to get Web2 people with their small amounts of money? So like
Right.
this is
Right.
just
Right.
kind of my thoughts on what I'm seeing from this.
Yeah, I get your point. Like, both the sides. Like, Web3 gets you started and go full fledged on what you're building, and Web2 makes you survive and actually build a business out of it. So, yeah, I would say like from my perspective, it's like if I am not confident or if our team is not confident of building that business, then we should not sell this idea to Web3 audience telling that we want to build some business, right? So that is the approach we are taking. So maybe the hard route, I would say, but. Yeah, we tried Web3, but Web3 audience, as you know, like if the market goes in that direction, if they go in the gaming direction, if there is a hype going around, then people will just blindly throw in money because they see instant returns, and it's not about the project or the vision. There are very few people
You
who
should
care about this. Yeah.
you should ask your like current community and NFT holders what would they want more. Like, should we work on the brand, the world building, the stories, maybe the comics? Should we make comics? Should we make things, or should we focus on a game? And then maybe they
Oh,
can
great.
help you like lead the way. Hey guys, if anybody's in the chat here, what should those Astro kids do? World building or the game? Which one? Which goes first? The egg or the chicken? If anybody's in the chat, because like the one goes out of another, right? If you prefer a game, then out of the game, like League of Legends, right? They started with the game, and then they
Yeah.
started building up the characters to sell merch, to sell the brand, right? Or
Right, right, right.
do you go with world building to set up the story, and then you can make different games and see what sticks, right? What's like a good thing
Right,
to monetize the brand? So
right, right,
yeah.
right, right. Yeah, that's an interesting poll. We'll definitely run this out. We got feedback to ship the game fast, but yeah, these two options are very interesting. So I'll definitely like have a quick poll and see what people think. Yeah, that's a good one for sure. Yeah, and apart from this, you also worked on Godot engine, Godot SDK for Solana, and you are also working on those aspects. I would like to touch base on that because web games are something which is a passion. Like, I have seen it from you. Like, I've heard a lot of times, like, having games on web is very important, and how Godot would actually help us out. So maybe for any new devs or people who want to try it out, so maybe some thoughts before we go to the end of the call. Yeah. Maybe. Yes.
Well, I tried a couple of different things, right? I tried Unity. I tried a little bit. I tried with just in general web. I haven't built any game like just on like React or web, but I did like watch some tutorials. I tried to get into it, but what I found Godot is like a sweet spot between those things. The problems, for example, with Unity is like it's just bulky. It's for especially for web. It's really difficult to develop on, right? If you want to test something and you want to build on Unity, it takes like 10 minutes to build, right? And with the game getting bigger, it takes longer and longer, and it's just like open up a Unity, it already takes a couple of minutes, and like the app needs to open fast because if it even takes a minute, then you maybe when you go to start the work, right? When you go to start at the start of the day, you're like, okay, I need now to go to open up my engine. And because it's going to take a couple of minutes, you're kind of like, let me watch the video first, right? Let me do this first. Let me do that. And then you kind of delay because you just hate waiting for those minute or two to open up. It's friction, right? It's a very minor one, but it's friction. So Godot, it's very good at that department. You just open up, it takes maybe 10 seconds or something. It's just easy. It feels small. It feels light. For the development part, the resources on Godot, like tutorials, really good because, for example, like just young people, right? Young developers are now choosing to develop with Godot instead of Unity or Unreal because like it's just simple, easier to create smaller projects. And that makes and because young people are driven, they don't have much responsibilities, they want to grow their brands, they create tutorials, and Godot tutorials are amazing because like just people like there's young people who have now from Gen Z, they understand the attention span of people, they make shorter videos, they try to make it more engaging, and it just has like a nicer vibe, like it's just nicer to watch those videos compared to Unity ones, and just in general because Godot game engine is like you can create like a big game, a big kind of metaverse thing with Godot. You could theoretically, but it's more suited for like smaller projects, and that's especially what I think is important right now in Web3, from in my perspective, right? Since I mentioned you cannot make a big project because everything's changing in a couple of months, so you need to create like projects one by one and just try to stick them together into something maybe. So I think Godot is perfect for that. I thinking like, for example, when I'm getting like some feedback from people that why should I go with Godot? I want to go with like React and like web things, and that makes sense if you instead of making like a game, you want to create something more of like a gambling or like a micro game, something that doesn't require like particles, something that doesn't require like a lot of like shaders and stuff, because when you start working with physics, shaders, particles and stuff, React is just not good. React is good for UI, and UI is like the most boring part of game development, right? Like you want to do like stuff. So creating a game on React, it doesn't really feel like a game. It feels like a gamified something. And for me, I don't think that's I think it's okay for little gambling games, right? Maybe like some bonk digging, right, or something. So like you open up in the app, quick to loads in a couple seconds. It only takes you a couple of actions to see if you like dig, and you either lose money or you double money, right? Something like gamified gambling that works for React. So that's why I found Godot to be like this sweet spot. That it's good for web games. It's good for like actually making a game, feeling like a game developer, and all those resources, docs, the community. You go into like Discord servers. A lot of people can give you like help and advice. So it feels like a very good space of like young developers, and it's constantly growing. And because it's open source, things happen things happen fast. And whenever updates come, for example, with Unity, I never go and watch like what's coming up in Unity next, right? Because we know it's gonna be some cinematic bullshit, something very exclusive that you're not gonna do it, right? You're gonna look at it, oh, that's cool, that's interesting, but you're never gonna touch those things, right? Because it feels like made for some bigger studios who want to do more things, right? And Godot, when I saw, okay, Godot 4.4 is coming out, and I'm constantly looking at updates because I know that the things that they will add is going to benefit me as an indie developer to do things quicker, or maybe fix some bugs. So like it feels more of like an actual engine for indie developers. So yeah,
Right,
I
right.
may have like a very long answer, but I hope you can kind of understand the whole vibe. And that's why me and my partner Axel, that's why we decided it's the right platform, and that's why we decided to create, support, maintain the Godot Solana SDK. And it's pretty strong actually. It's cool. It's like I think it's only become cool because like the problem with these SDKs when people like make Unity SDK or whatever, like Unity, big props to Magic Block. They did an amazing job with Unity SDK. But what I noticed is that it's not as good when you make an SDK when just thinking about SDK, because then you never think about actual game
Game
things, right?
mechanics.
You only
Yeah.
think about like in a small scale. Okay, what's the smallest thing that I can do so it kind of works as a feature, and then people could like work on it. But the SDK we built basically around Big Digga's game, and because Big Digga's kept on needing things, we built
Right,
the
right,
SDK kind of
right.
around it, and that allowed to have it like a lot of cool features which are actually needed in games, right? So when I build something for Big Digga's, I try to make it universal so people can like use those features. So like loading NFTs and in the panel, right, and seeing those NFTs load up, right?
Right, right,
This
right.
seeing tokens, getting their symbols and everything. So like there's a lot of cool utility stuff that is only
Right,
here because it was built around the game, and I kind of made it
right, right.
standardized. And
Yeah.
there's also support for like custom programs, right? So anchor programs, you can just kind of make those instructions and everything. You can use Candy Machine. Now we're got a grant from Metaplex. Now we're working on core support, so you will be able to mint, edit collections, work with the plugins and stuff. And
Nice.
and with Godot, there's also like another thing which I prefer from Unity is with Unity the JSONs and fetching data is very
Yeah.
complicated. If you want to fetch something, you need to put it like into a different class, name everything, right? And just kind
Yeah.
of this bulk, a lot of bulk. You need like to do a lot of manual labor. And Godot
Right.
works perfectly with JSONs. Like you can save everything in like dictionaries. JSONs are dictionaries. They like convert very nicely. And you fetch something, and then you kind of like say, okay, so this data dictionary is that data, and just you don't need to worry too much about it.
Right,
You can like
right.
always do brackets
Ah.
and search for stuff like in TypeScript, so it's like
Right,
very
right, right,
convenient
right.
in this department. It's really easy to work with. So yeah, so
Yeah.
if anybody's watching who's like still trying to figure out, like maybe you're not that familiar with Unity, not that familiar with Godot, not that familiar with anything, try Godot. I think you guys would like that.
Yeah, guys. If you have anything related to Godot, Tomukas is the guy. These guys built SDKs from scratch. So how do someone contact you or reach out? I mean,
Well, I mean, the easiest way to access it is through Rubians. In the Discord we have just like some separate chats for game developers, and like there's links in the Discord leading to the SDK and stuff like that. Also, there's also links to um, because we have like forums, those Discourse forums. So like we have lots of like resources to learn from, resources to watch some tutorials. So we kind of like made this Discord more appealing to learning and sharing information. So and I've also made like a couple of playlists of tutorials. So like a playlist of 10 episodes of how to just create your first Web3 game, where first 5 episodes are just general Godot mechanics, nothing Web3, just like how can you like walk around, how can you pick up stuff, right? Destroy, pick up, calculate something, use some UI, game over, win. 5 episodes for that, and then 5 episodes for like adding some Web3 elements into that game, right? Maybe instead of pressing play, you log in with the wallet, right? You add things on that. And when you play, you want to win a reward, you get a transaction to win that amount of score in form of tokens. So that playlist is amazing to start getting into Godot. And I also made a playlist for minting NFTs from Candy Machine, and also one more playlist to how to integrate a custom smart contract. So like I'm using Jonas Han's Tiny Adventure. I don't know if you guys are familiar. They're like the classic example of smart contract for games. So I basically like use that smart contract to try and with UI nicely, like with buttons to like move around in the Tiny Adventure game, syncing up with a smart contract. So like we have like these playlists, and maybe I'll make some more tutorials as time goes on, because people seem to like it pretty well.
Right, right.
Um,
Yeah, and
I can
even I'm interested in the candy machine part because does it have core support already, or it's going to come later?
full support for what?
The core, Metaplex core standard?
Yes, the core. I mean, we're working to some. Vivek is asking for playlist link. I think the best thing would be to go to YouTube and write Solana Godot, and I think that
Yeah.
you should find it, because I made sure the tags work. There's not really much competition in this department. There's not really much Solana Godot tutorial. So if you just write Solana Godot, you should find it. So
Yeah.
I hope you are gonna be able to. And I'm sorry, I forgot what did you just ask me? I was answering it, and I started.
No, no, no.
What was it?
No, what I was did the do the candy machine and the minting thing support
Eh,
core or not yet? Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of an issue now. The core candy machine is not yet supported. I mean, like we're now in the process. Like we're now kind of in the middle of integrating core. So what we have is now a minting collection, editing collection, minting asset, burning collection and asset, and now we're starting to work with adding plugins. So you can like add plugins during the minting, or add later on. So this is going to be the next part, and then we're going to integrate also the core candy machine. But the problem right now is like it's kind of difficult now to do it, because I don't have a core candy machine available now, and I'm basically waiting for the CLI. They said that by the end of the month they're gonna have like sugar for candy machine.
Right, right,
So I would just like I would create core candy machine with some CLI, and then I would like work in Godot to try and mint from that. So
Right.
it just kind of now is a bit tedious for now to test. So we're kind of delaying it a little bit. But with core, what I just did before the call, I'm pretty proud of this. Just before the call, I managed to get support for custom authority signer, which means basically that in Godot, like there's a problem with Godot and like Unity, that you can't really update NFTs and metadata and everything, because you need like to exploit the private key, right? The private
You need
key.
the authority. Yeah.
You need like some sort of server that would get to sign and everything. So I basically have just added this support for when if you want to like edit the collection or something, then you create the instruction, you create everything inside Godot, you then serialize it and send it over to the server. The server says, okay, I'm the update authority of this collection. I give my signature. It gives back the transaction, and then in Godot I sign myself to pay the fees. So now this whole process now works. So like by default, you would only be able to do it with your own private keys and exporting, but now there is an option to set up your own server and be able to use that as an external signer. So like, yeah, so this is kind of the main thing what I was lacking in Unity. Like in Unity, they just did everything according to like local development and local private keys. And if you want to do something custom, then it's just a lot of work, a lot of bullshit. And with Godot, this is the main thing that I'm building around. I'm building around you being able to set up your own server somewhere and easily communicate to have another person sign. So this is like the main, I would say, one of the main features that I'm thinking about when developing Godot SDK. Is like, even though I cannot support the server, but I'm giving easy access for somebody to just like kind of plug and play. If you have a server, you like enter the address, and then like the signing would go then. So yeah, I'm really having like the first interest for the developers in Godot. Like I want them to feel kind of that everything happens easily. BK seems to have left.
Yeah, I think again maybe some internet issue.
All right, cool. If you have any more questions, anybody's in the chat. If you have any more questions, I would gladly answer. and um, and yeah, I can, since there's no BK, there's no questions for now. I would like to give you a little bit of an alpha for what I'm thinking with Rubians going forward.
Mhm.
This is, I think this is unprecedented. I don't think it's ever been done before.
Uh-huh.
I want to make Rubians NFTs, the visuals of NFTs, be AI generated, but not simply AI generated. I said a collection, people mint, and oh, it's like AI generated art. But
Mhm.
instead, I'm now training my own model with Rubian's art style, and
Oh.
basically a person from our game, like you would go to the Rubians app, and if they have an NFT, they can enter a prompt and generate what they would like their NFT to look like, and it's always going to look like a Rubian, and there's no traits, no like nothing, but they can. Everybody looks unique because they all make prompts for themselves. For example, maybe Christmas time comes and you have your own NFT. You can say this NFT, but add the Christmas Santa hat, and then generate and update your metadata, and it's just your all new Rubian available on the chain with just some changes. So so I think this will be pretty cool. But the problem is that it's difficult. The problem is that it's difficult. Uh,
Like you are taking custom NFT games to a whole another level if this is implemented.
yeah, like this is what I'm thinking is to start putting Rubians into the experiences. So what I mean by that is, first I'm starting with Rubians being able to be AI generated. I know BK, you probably missed it. So just to recap, now my plan going forward is to create give ability for Rubians to prompt themselves. I'm training an AI model on Rubian's art style. So basically, if you're a holder of a Rubian, you can always change how you look like without any traits, just your own prompt, and it's always going to look like a Rubian. So everybody's
Nice.
just unique. Because this is like the problem, right, with NFTs. People want to customize and look how they would like to look, but the problem is that if you allow the traits to be choosable, then people can just set the same traits, and there's no rarity, and there's no like it's destroyed, right? So you cannot really allow to customize NFTs. And with AI, maybe some person can like find some cracks in the prompt. Maybe they can just hack the prompt and create like some custom Rubian. Maybe it's not even going to look like Rubian, but that's going to be a feature because it's going to be super rare NFT because nobody knows how to generate it, you know? Nobody knows. So the NFTs can start to look like really, really unique while still being somewhat from the same art style. So this is kind of what I'm trying to go for. First, Rubians look unique with a nice art style, and then I'll try to give them maybe some, like Myers-Briggs tests, like personality tests, or maybe like there's some different tests you could do, right? So what I'm thinking is that I could like also provide later on with some tests for the Rubian holders, so they would need to answer some questions. Maybe write some things like describe your perfect date or something, right? It's kind of like that, right? So you would like answer some questions, and then you would teach your Rubian would be an agent, and you would teach based on your answers what the Rubian is like as a character. So you could like you create a character by giving an image, how they look like, and their kind of their thing. And then maybe, for example, I create some little story game, little experience, right? You go like talk to some people, like some detective maybe, or mystery or something like that. And we could do something like voting. Maybe, let's say we need 5 NPCs in that game. And maybe like people vote, seeing some Rubians who want to propose. We could choose some of the Rubians to be those characters in game, and because their chain, the agent, the art is on chain, we can just say, okay, so this AD now is going to be this NPC. So in the NPC settings in game, we can just set their address, and now when the user goes to talk with them, the image would show up as that Rubian. They would talk in a manner, and they would talk in a manner that taught person would talk. For example, like maybe you can say that this character talks with a lot of curse words, right? Or maybe they speak in Japanese, right? And it's going to be impossible to understand what they're saying, right? So this is kind of what I'm thinking, to try and get Rubians to be part of the development, but not the players, but rather the figures of the game itself. So they just kind of have some say. They create the characters that we use when we make games. We are able to use those characters. So kind of
Right,
like
right, right.
trying to get Rubians into like this actual community of game developers, even though those Rubian holders may not be developers, may not be like creating stuff. By just generating their own NFT, generating some information, they can like create a character which is gonna then be used in game, and they will feel like they are kind of creators. So
Right,
this is
right.
kind of what I'm going with.
Yeah, that's quite interesting, actually. Even we thought of doing something like that for Astrobits, but not with the AI part. We have our own in-game AI called Eva, so that's basically the assistant that helps player navigate inside the game and also do some blockchain-related interactions as well. So that it also has a trading strategy running behind, and it drops information on the trends in our Discord channel as a bot right now, and we are also planning some. We also got a domain called astrokids.me so that people can customize and everything. We thought we could actually penetrate into a bigger audience, but yeah, unfortunately, that time is not arrived yet. So maybe soon again. Yeah. So yeah, uh, I think we should definitely do more of once the game is live, maybe in the next 3 to 4 weeks. If you're down, maybe once we have our first game out, we can do some stream like this and deep dive a bit more about how the gaming is and what do you think and your candid
Yeah,
feedback
sure.
live on
I
stream
could
if that's fine.
definitely. I
Yeah,
could definitely say I can like switch some screens. I can stream myself, and I can change the
like
game, and I can just kind of stream play and like give some feedback, give some review. I think that would be pretty cool.
yeah, sure, sure. Thank you so much for your time and joining again. So we have taken some gap and we just started it back, and good to have a very interesting conversation here. This is a very uh, people got to know a different perspective, different game engine, different way of how indies think. So yeah, thanks for joining us and sharing your thoughts out loud. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you very much, and thank you for the people in the chat. Thank you for asking questions. Thank you for participating and writing GMs. That really boosts up our motivation and our vibes. So thanks
Yeah,
for watching. Thanks
yeah.
for having me, BK, Devansh.
Thank you
You
so
guys are
Uh,
much.
awesome.
Really.
Good luck with your Astrocasts, and I'll see you around. Good luck with the
yeah, thank
game.
you so
I
much.
can't wait to play it.
Yeah, thank you, Thomas. Yeah, see you
Thank you so
soon.
much.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Oh, that
Okay.
was a very good conversation, and sorry for the
Fantastic.
technical difficulties. I unfortunately, it just went off and on. So yeah. So yes, Devansh. So just give a small update about the collection and the direction we are going
Yeah.
ahead and what we are taking. So thank you so much for tuning in till the end, and I hope you got some valuable inputs through this conversation. We'll be doing more of this. So what we are thinking is changing this Astrocast a bit, having a guest conversation for like 30 minutes, and then we share 30 minutes of project updates so that everyone can have a clear update of what's happening throughout
Yeah.
the week. So I think we'll be doing that more from the next week, and we'll also do
Also,
some.
you
Yeah,
forgot one thing. We can also play game when it's live. When once it's live.
yeah, definitely, definitely. That's the goal, right? So just to give you an update of NFT Mint, the postmortem of that is people did not understand, the concept of
Hmm.
LSD backed NFTs. So people were assuming that they are going to pay two soul to mint an NFT, but instead the whole idea is to park your soul to get your NFT and all the benefits of it. So it's a rug-free solution. So unfortunately, it's like people are not ready to be in the safe zone. They would like to put their money in that hype
Meme
train
coin.
that's going on around, and yeah. So unfortunately, that did not take off, or maybe we did not convey the message properly. But so we have taken a call. We asked our community who took part in the mint who joined us to support us, and really thank you for joining us in this journey. We need this support in the start so that it keeps our energy going. It keeps us pushing forward and making more amazing things with AstroKids and World. So we now are reducing the collection size from to 111. So this will be a Genesis edition. And after a few months, we will revisit this NFT launch. But for now, this will be the Genesis edition, and it will be recorded in that way. And early supporters will be rewarded as we progress and make our world journey successful. So that's one update about Astrocats. And for elites who are there with us for the last 6 plus months. So you will be able to mint this legendary collection as well. Most likely next week we will roll out an announcement giving an update on where we are at and what we are planning to do with Elites. So you can have your beautiful looking Astro Kids in your wallet soon. And for all the LST backed NFT holders, you already got your NFTs. And I'm actually happy that people are giving us consistent feedbacks on how we are building
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
and that's actually a very good boost. And that is the whole goal of us, launching this NFT. We want to have that community feedback so that, we can navigate the journey much more better by
correct.
taking all your inputs. Yeah, so from now on, it's going to be like we are cutting down all the multiple things we are focusing on, but instead we'll completely focus on shipping the game out. So we want to have a longer audience, build audience over time, and we want to have this as a functional business, and we build our IPs
Mm-hmm.
using these games. So we have already started the build in public series where we'll be posting more details about what's happening in the trenches inside behind the scenes, and we'll be sending out regular updates like daily or even thrice a week at least, so that you keep updated of what's happening. And in the upcoming weeks, we'll be giving a direct builds for our holders and also the community inside our Discord, so that they can playtest the game. So from there, we will start our playtest season one, where all the players who are participating in that in testing and building their own bases, crafting their own cities in Aquatica. So there will be exclusive skins and exclusive items just for that season, and we'll be doing more seasons after that. So yeah, stay tuned. This is not the end; it's just the beginning, and we are just a step ahead. So you can only fail when you give up, and we are not the ones who want to give up. So we are doubling down on this, and we're going to flip it. So yeah, see you all in Discord. And is there anything from your side you want to share, or any questions you have
Uh,
for anyone in the chat? Yeah, let's go.
Nothing much, but the only thing is that there are some sad sentiments that price is down of Solana in
Mm.
general. Sad
Right, right.
sentiments regarding meme coins again. The thing is that we are here to build something great, something good, and we will not stop until it's built like completely. It's up there.
Yeah,
So that's the only thing. We might make some mistakes, we might fail sometimes, but we aren't stopping anytime soon. That's
exactly the
the
point. Yeah.
only thing.
Yeah, the
So
tweet we rolled out, we were there at 20, we were there at 8, we
yeah,
were there at 200,
exactly.
we will be there here. So it's never the price for us, it's the tech that is fascinating, and it's the blockchain tech, it is really a game-changing thing if you see into the depths of it, where there is
Hmm.
no gatekeeping of how things should work, or how things
Exactly.
should operate. But unfortunately, every good tech when it is starting will be utilized or will be
For
exploited by
abuse. Yeah.
so many people. So stay safe in the markets. Just don't. Yeah, if you have some spare money, you want to play around, you can do that, but never invest into meme coins. The money more than what you can afford to lose.
Yeah.
Never think of becoming a millionaire by throwing all your life savings into this. Please be safe, and check out all the resources. Do your own research. Don't just take people's word and invest their money into some random things which you have no idea of, and then end up losing all that money. Yeah. So
Yeah.
super late. Yeah, yeah.
Very
Thanks for
good.
joining. Thanks for joining. But yeah, hopefully, you can maybe watch the recording later and
Yeah.
catch up with us in the next Astrocast. Yeah, thank you so much for joining, Eriko. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So
Any questions, or are we good to?
any questions, guys? By the way, we will be dropping something
Requirements?
cool in next 30 minutes or no, in next 60 minutes. So stay tuned for that as well.
What are you dropping? Which I don't know.
I shared it. I shared it already.
Okay.
You gave a
Okay.
thumbs up, so it's approved
Okay.
already. I
Let's
can
go.
drop
Let's
it.
go. All right. All right. Yeah, stay tuned. Next week onwards, this format will change a bit. We have 30 minutes of the guest and 30 minutes
Yeah.
updates on the project. And we'll also showcase whatever we are building continuously through our tweets and also in our Discord. And we might also open up Reddit so that we can actually attract some
Hmm.
gamers. Yeah, let's dive in and exciting week ahead. And thank you all for joining. Catch up soon in the next week. Yes.
So bye bye.
Bye.
Yeah, we rise from the void. Builders of the fall, make some noise. This is power, this is truth, this is fire. We're the spark that'll light your empire. We're the grinders, the makers, the dream machine. Chasing visions through the Web3 stream. Break the mold, let the fire ignite. We're building in public, no fear, no fright. Amid the rugs and the fakes, we shine. Gliding through space, coding in time. The fold is ours, yeah, we're claiming the game. Astrocast is rising, remember the name. It's the future we write, it's a world we design. The fold is calling and the stars will align. The fold is ours, we're breaking the chains. Riding the storms, we're embracing the game. From the depths of a planet to galaxies wide. The Astro Kids conquer, the fold's on the rise. Yo, solo explorers building the base. From an island of dreams to the vastest space. Transforming the grind into indie gold. Bear the torch, we're breaking the old. This ain't just a game, it's a movement away. From the sea to the stars, it's the future we pave. A limited run, but the fire's alive. Exclusive mint, watch the legends arrive. Builders of the bear, we're taking it there. From nothing to something, to the cosmos we tear. Through the void, through the dark, we declare. Yo, step up, step in, feel the beat drop. Indie revolution, and we won't stop. From collectors to coders, we're setting the bar. Rising like rockets, we're aiming for stars. The vault is ours. We're breaking the chains. Riding the storms, we're embracing the game. From the depths of a planet to galaxies wide. The Astrocast conquer, the vault's on the rise. Yeah, we're carving the path, and it's burning bright. Indies, take note, this is your fight. The vault is calling, and we're answering loud. Heads high, fists raised, we're making you proud. Yeah, we're carving the path, and it's burning bright. Indies, take note, this is your fight. The vault is calling.